And we're back on another exciting
Hello!
episode of Starfleet So Hail, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today we're talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 3, Episode 9, Terrarium.
Terrarium. It's like an
And
aquarium, but for land. So
I'm joined after a long time by Joel, and then soon Braxton will arrive. His shuttle is stuck in a wormhole. And
Braxtons are never late. They arrive when they mean to.
when they mean to. His shuttle stuck in a wormhole on the other side of a wormhole, and we've sent a landing party. Hopefully, we don't accidentally kill his best friend that he made while stuck there. I hope that doesn't happen with our landing party. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hello to the chat. Look at this. We have a nice little group here. Here comes Braxton. All right. We delayed long enough. There he is.
Hello. We manifested Braxton.
Hey,
comes in
Joel.
dramatically.
How are you guys today? How's my audio?
Good. Happy Saturday greetings to you, sir. We were joking around that you were stuck on the other side of a wormhole and that we sent a landing party to go save you, but that we hoped we wouldn't kill your best friend that you made while trying to survive over there.
Oh, I'm just noticing that you're live. Oh.
Yeah, we're live this time, Braxton. We're live, and we're
doing it live.
Yeah, so this is the live episode. We've been doing these pre-recorded.
Yep.
But because I was traveling to Starfleet headquarters last week, my game was thrown off, and so we're here Saturday doing it live. And we have the pleasure of having Joel. He was doing all the technical stuff last night on Text Trek, but through an anomaly was on screen for a while. So folks were like, "Where's Joel? Where's Joel?" Here he is. We brought him here to share his thoughts.
There we go.
Well, Joel, it's great to see you.
Yep, great to see you. I've enjoyed you being back in the pre-recorded ones. Yeah,
absolutely. Have you started the recap yet?
No, we haven't done any.
No, you missed like 30 seconds.
30 seconds, yeah, literally. It wasn't that long. We just kind of did a little housekeeping before we begin. Folks, if you would be so kind as to like this video and share it, maybe that would help us out. We're trying to defy the algorithm, and that always does the trick. Also, if you're watching, we love comments. If you're watching this later on the replay, feel free to comment below about your thoughts and stuff like that. I see Wanda has joined the chat. Wanda is always really cool and always puts a comment in the chat and stuff like that. So let's get started. I guess the episode summary, basically there's this like strange area of space with like a lot of anomalous gravitational waves that the Enterprise is studying on their way to drop off some vaccines to help out a colony that is facing a pandemic at the moment. And the situation is kind of difficult because of all the anomalies. They can't just use standard probes and like their standard way of analyzing. They need to send a pilot, an expert pilot named Ortegas in a shuttlecraft that's been like pared down basically to its bare minimum in terms of weight, and while they're doing that, while Erica is doing that, a wormhole appears out of nowhere and sucks her in to the other side, and her shuttlecraft crash lands on this like really ominous, weird, cool moon that's orbiting around a super gas giant that's like also very volatile. And she goes into survival mode while she's hoping that the Enterprise crew can rescue her, and discovers that she's not alone on the planet, but in fact she's there with a crash landed Gorn pilot who also happens to be a female. And they, through the mutual need for survival, they bond and become friends, and they're able to understand each other. These two species that are mortal enemies, basically, as we've seen them so far. And meanwhile, the Enterprise, Uhura is desperate to save her friend and will sometimes, she actually resorts to some extreme means to make it happen. But ultimately they're successful, and they discover, both with Erica's plan of setting the atmosphere of the moon on fire, as well as some like basically unrelenting resolve on the part of the Enterprise, and Uhura spearheading that. They're able to find her. But sadly, when the landing party arrives, headed up by La'an, who's our security chief, all they see is that a Gorn is about to, pick up Erica, or grab her, maybe from their perspective, and so they shoot first without thinking. And the Gorn, who we're gonna call Vergornica after Textra. Father came up with Vergornica, and poor Vergornica dies. And Erica is just devastated, and yet she, in this moment, realizes that there's something bigger going on, and she screams out, asking for the sparkly kind of thing that she's been observing, that she's had this feeling that she's being watched. She screams out and says, "Reveal yourself." And lo and behold, we get the Met Gala. Another thing from the Text Trek chat last night, we get the Met Gala Metron appear, who reveals that this whole thing's been an experiment, which pisses Erica off even more, and all of us too, I imagine, the audience. But they Metron say that they're not, that after seeing the that they shot first and killed the Gorn, the landing party, that humans are not ready to meet the Metrons, and they're still not ready later when they meet them again in the original series. At least
they're just dicks.
Yeah, like whatever. But yeah, Erica's like kind of left confused and sad as to why all of this needed to happen, and a little bit in pain, because she loves La'an and knows that La'an was trying to protect her, but also that the Gorn was also trying to protect her. And so she's left in this kind of weird place at the end of the episode of mourning and anger. But Uhura comes in and cheers her up a little bit, and, reminds her that, and Erica says, "I know what you had to do to save me." And, they hug it out, and that's the end of the episode. Did I get the summary right? Was there anything missing?
Yeah. It was good, and it was on time. And look at that.
It was short, right? Like I've been doing good with these short summaries. I feel really good about it. Joel, since you're our special guest today, why don't you go first with your thoughts on the episode, and then Braxton can share his.
Yeah, I really like this one. I think when we watched it, I think right away I was like, this is enemy mine with the Gorn. I guessed it, and not too far into it. And indeed it is. But that's not really a knock, because, I mean, that movie is awesome. And last night we figured out it's on archive.org if you want to watch it. But that being said, it was great. And the quibbles I had with the episode actually were all solved basically by the Metrons appearing. Because, like, why did that happen? It's like, how can the atmosphere contact a gas giant repeatedly and still be there? The Metrons made it so they could breathe. That's why. All the hand-wavy science stuff, the Metrons interfered. Why did the rations all conveniently burn up? The Metrons burned them up. Why did the shuttle fall and go away? The Metrons did it. So, that reveal really just took away all the minor. Those were just minor things. They weren't a big deal anyway. But and I loved because they said season 4 we're getting puppets, but we got one here. We have one in season 3.
Yeah, actually,
the Skeksis looking Gorn puppet, and I wrote down the wonderful stunt performer underneath it. We should give a shout out, because that's hard to do. Warren Scherer was underneath that, and it looks amazing. It's like Jim Henson level looking stuff, and the way they dressed it with all the the cloth or skins. I'm not sure what the centipede skins or what have you.
Maybe it's
amazing,
molted like skin or something. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not sure if those were just, Gorn clothes. Not a miniskirt. It's too cold for miniskirt, it looked like. They both had to dress up. But, it was very impressive. And, all the minor quibbles were just basically solved by the Metrons showing up in there. Shiny, we're sort of Dick's glory. And, so what did you think, Braxton?
So I thought this episode got off to a little bit of a slow start. Probably about 20 minutes in when she crashed. I was like, like what's happening here? Like I feel like nothing's really happening. And then it really started rolling when she saw the Gorn. And I was like, ooh, like, is that a Gorn? I was like, ooh, Erica, you in danger, girl. Um, and, I thought I ended up having a lot of fun with this episode. Like I thought it was really interesting. She was like, "Oh, like like your feet are, your like legs are so gnarled. Like I see your weakness." And then like we saw the animals that had been attacking her. You know, um, I thought this was a really fun episode. I thought it started off just a little slow, but then it really picked up and then was very interesting. And I really felt bad that La'an shot our girl to end it. I was thinking, I was like, how is this gonna go? Like they're gonna be going back to the ship, and like where are they gonna take it? But conveniently, that was just solved by La'an, like shooting first and like asking questions later. Now I don't, have much experience with TOS. I don't remember seeing the Metrons before, but I did like that character. He looked really fabulous in his robes. Yeah, I thought this was a really fun episode. I really dug it.
Same here. I like this episode. I think it's my favorite episode of the season. It's like a terrarium, so it's a bottle episode in a weird way. Like it only takes place, it takes place on the planet mostly, and then back on the Enterprise, I suppose. But overall, I just like the simple kind of story and all the character moments. I thought that Melissa Navia was fantastic. Like this was finally the more Ortegas that we've been like, I think, hoping for. We've been getting a little more Ortegas as a character. Like everyone, she's a real standout character, a very interesting character, and I think here we got to really see her, Melissa Navia, like take the character to a new level and shine. So I appreciated that. And to go off what Joel was saying, like especially this last time, I just watched it right now before our stream, but the puppet work is superb. Like the emotions that Vergornica conveys, and like just like the laugh, you could tell when the puppet's laughing. And what's that?
Just two words too: agree and disagree.
Yeah, but just like the articulation in the mouth and like the eyes, and like I really just like I thought, oddly, I thought the Gorn was cute. Like I started like really loving the Gorn character, and it's a shame that Star Trek hasn't done more with the Gorn in this manner, because we've only really seen them in Strange New Worlds as like an adversary. We only see them the one time in the original series, and then
Lower Decks is the most.
Yeah, Lower Decks features them. You're right. We did go to a Gorn wedding. I forgot about that.
And they're selling Crota legs on that one starbase. Not 80, but a regular one.
That's right. And that's right. I forgot about that. But yeah, it would be neat if Star Trek revisits them in the Academy show that's coming up, because we do hear about the Gorn hegemony in Discovery season 3 or 4. I forget, but. They're still around, which is cool. I would love to see. I've gotten used to the kind of new design of the Gorn, being like this kind of raptor, lizard, dinosaur kind of hybrid thing. But I would love to see some Gorn that look like the ones from TOS. And I did notice that there were a lot of attempts to reference the Gorn from the original series. Now that I got to see a Gorn not just moving so fast and like quickly off the screen, we got to spend some time with this suit, and so I did see the intention behind it is there. And yeah, just overall it was like a what I would call a sad but delightful episode, and I think this is kind of like it reminded me a lot of TNG in the overall vibe. I would say, like, just something about this episode made me feel like I was watching an episode of TNG, in the sense of like the writing overall, and like the pacing, and like even the the way the visuals looked and the lighting and the camera and everything like that. I guess it just didn't have like a lot of crazy camera movements and stuff. And so I really enjoyed
spinning.
Spinning.
You can't really spin the camera 360 in the AR wallet. You can.
I guess you can, but it would be quite a feat. Yeah, but it just also just like
and that's okay. Hell, we don't always need that.
The Planet Hell aspect of it, but also just the overall writing. Watching it now 4 times, there are some inconsistencies that I could definitely point out, but I would say that they're easily ignored. I mean, very few, I should say, episodes of Star Trek are absolutely perfect. But this one, any mistakes are pretty forgivable, I think, because the overall story is just so good. So yeah, I liked it a lot too. Audience looks pretty favorable compared to last week. Braxton, we didn't do a live discussion last week, but after our discussion, I was like tuning in, and that episode was mostly hated, it seems, at least by the channels. But so I think it was a good turnaround from all the controversy. This one seems to be more universally enjoyed, so it's really good. I had some words on Blue Sky. Oddly, on Twitter, it was like it was crazy. Anyways, it's fun. I love it though. Whenever there's a controversial episode of Star Trek, I actually think it's great, because I do think those discussions overall, I mean, there's always like bad players that are ill-intentioned, but overall those discussions always lead to a lot of understanding and bring new perspectives into our lives. And I think that's like a net positive, if you will. So yeah, but go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say that I found it intriguing that the Gorn play chess, or a game that's similar to chess.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Tactical and strategy and all that stuff. Yeah, it was like very cool. It was surprising to like, there is something about in Arena. Captain Kirk says that there's like this instinct within humans to be repulsed by reptilian type creatures or whatever, and I think the same thing, and it's true. Like the Gorn are off-putting in a way. Even the new design, you're like, oh god, it's like gonna eat me or whatever, but like when you realize that like there's more to the characters, there's more to the Gorn, they're not just like vicious and stuff like that. And there's a lot of questions we could talk about. Like, one wonders how a species that's so intelligent would have like retain rituals that are so animalistic and instinctual, like the way they birth their children through others, and then also that like Vergornica had to have survived. Her brothers and sisters would have tried to kill her when she was born. And so like, parenthood is different for the Gorn than it is. They're not really active parents. It looks like they just like hope their kids will grow up, at some point or whatever. So it's a very fascinating thing to realize that the Gorn are extremely intelligent, just as intelligent as a human, and that they have developed warp technologies and they have a civilization and all weapons and all this stuff. But that on some level, they're also very alien and different from us, and very much like animals from our perspective. It's an interesting thing to think about. But here, I forgot all that, and I just thought about poor Vergornica. It was just
like board games and cooking and making food. She doesn't cook it necessarily.
Jill says the Gorn just got a lot more interesting. Thank goodness. Yeah, I was worried as well that they would not.
I figured they were on this arc because they started with those lines about they're just evil monsters in like the first season, and then like I knew they couldn't just stay at that level and then go to Arena. I knew they were going to be doing something even, but yeah, this was really good payoff for what they started with to move it here.
Yeah, I agree. So overall, I guess, we could go and kind of like, we don't have like slides and stuff to keep us on kind of a track like on Text Track. Right? Yeah. Sometimes I do slide presentations. I used to do them, but it's a little much. Maybe I'll get AI to help me with that one day. But what did you guys think of the whole let's start with like the whole stuff that's going on the Enterprise, because we could talk a lot about the planet. But what did you guys think of the action on the Enterprise? Uhura, desperate to get Erica back, and all the tension between them with the vaccine and everything. Braxton, what did you think of all that stuff?
Like it was interesting. It was like, tense. I like seeing Uhura, take the lead. I thought it was interesting that she told the captain that she lied, about her plans, like in the end when, they had like crossed the red line and it seemed like maybe like all was lost. I thought that was good, but at the same time, I kind of thought it was slow and like not a lot was happening, because I feel like that was like in the first 20 minutes. I was like, "Ooh, Erica's in trouble. Like, how is she gonna like get herself out of this?" I was like, there's no way they're gonna take the ship into the wormhole, and then they did. Well,
what on the Uhura lying thing, that was something that like I thought was like, it ended up being unnecessary, because like Captain Pike would have done it anyways. Like, I think it was weird that they put that into her character.
I think
it was her character.
I know what people who are mad, they're like, oh, she wouldn't do that, but it's like she's very early in her career and she's overwhelmed by Ortegas being lost, but almost reachable. So she's almost overwhelmed and she needs, like Pike wanted to help. But so I think it's okay that she overstepped. It's like a learning experience. She oversteps and then finds out she didn't actually have to overstep to get everyone involved. So I thought it was a good learning thing, character development for a young Uhura.
Yeah,
I didn't really feel bad. Yeah, I don't, because people are just like, she's a liar. Well, she did lie, but
and is it really any much difference?
I don't like that. But
like, I don't know if that, like, I don't think of it as that either. But now that you mentioned that, like, is it any different from like when we're young, we're at a job and like, you take on something that's a little over, a little more than your plate. Yeah, like I can do that, or like, yeah, I get it. Like that makes sense in that context. What do you think, Braxton? Have you guys ever done that in your younger days, like at a job, like where someone said, do you have the skills to do this? And you're like, yeah.
I mean, of course I have, but I have not been in the military, and I have not had hundreds of people's lives at risk in like making those misstatements. I don't know, like, you're like, I don't know. Like, I think it was extremely bad decision making. It's good that he realized that she had misstated things, and like he would have done it anyway. But who knows? Like, I feel like if she hadn't made those misstatements, like Una may have been like totally 100% like against it. But like, I feel like Uhura helped to convince number one, and maybe that made things a bit smoother. It was okay.
Watching it again, the scene did seem like a little not quite thought through all the way, because Spock has been working with her this whole time. He would have for sure known
the odds himself.
The odds were not going to be in their favor for this one. And then and then she's like able to like how did if you look at the pad, she just like touches the side of the pad and like does this, and the number starts to go up, and it's like, how it like there's just so many 5%. Yeah, she raises it 5%. It's like, how did like the computer not say something like, warning, you are about to like override the numbers or whatever, so it was definitely thrown in there. I think with good intentions, like but it was just like watching it doesn't hold up, in other words, like when you watch it again, because Spock was there the whole time. Like he was
standing right behind her, like yeah.
And like he even
Spock steals ships against orders to do the right thing.
He does. That's true. That is true.
He's a
maybe he
does the right thing kind of guy.
Maybe he actually noticed, but I think that I would have liked a scene, because he does kind of like look like he just kind of like agrees, like, oh yeah, like yeah, that's the odds or whatever, let's go. But I think I would have loved a scene, just one more scene that was thrown in, where Spock kind of maybe says like, Ensign, it's interesting that you came up with 61%. My calculations came up with like 58%, or 56%. So I think that would have added, I think, something to the, and then maybe Uhura could have like said something like, or like acted really nervous, and then Spock like just kind of like says, I understand, or something like, like to kind of like excuse it there in a way, or just to say like, yeah, like I get why you did that or whatever. But all right, cool. We can move past that. I thought another thing that was interesting on the Enterprise was the way that Una was playing the adversary in a sense. Like everyone wanted to save Erica, but like Una was definitely like reminding everyone like
4,000
like
colonists,
that are stuff like that. And I think Rebecca Romaine has been fabulous this season. His father mentioned this last night on text, but like this is probably one of Una's best seasons overall. What did you guys think?
They've used her more and better.
Oh yeah, I totally enjoyed her playing the voice of reason here. I thought that there was I thought that some way that her and the Gorn were going to get themselves out of it. Like, I don't know how they were going to do it. I just thought it was going to happen. I just thought it was crazy that they would put the crew in jeopardy of like getting sucked into the wormhole for one individual. So I really liked Una, having the big perspective of 4,000 lives. This is just one. But I appreciated that.
Sometimes the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many, Braxton.
Spock had an opportunity to. He doesn't know that lesson yet, though, but he'll get there soon enough.
Last night on Tech Trek, I mentioned how I understood completely. Like, I know that these shows don't have unlimited budgets, and so I get it. But I think the show, like that feeling of like not much going on, is because what it could have used was like Scotty and Pelia doing some engineering magic as well, either like trying to extend the shelf life of the vaccines, or like helping out with the the necessary like engineering to get us through the wormhole and to save Erica. I thought that would have been that's probably where my feeling of like things are kind of missing would go on. But yeah, did you guys feel like that too, or were you okay with just having the crew that we had?
I would like to have had them, but yeah, time wise, I don't know what they were gonna do. I suppose they could have cut stuff with Ortegas, but then the whole point was to have a more Ortegas episode. So
Nothing
on that, Braxton.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was
just like, okay, that's fine.
No, I was satisfied with the crew that we with the cast that we saw this episode. I love Dr. Mbanga. He's probably my favorite character. So, it's unfortunate that we don't get to see him, but hey, not every
Oh yeah, he could have been involved with the vaccine stuff too.
He could have.
I guess I want every episode to have
he was down there maintaining the humidity or whatever to keep it good. So.
Wanda in the audience just pointed out that the writer says they were both unavailable, and I just forgot it. I guess I didn't realize.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, oh, what do you mean they're unavailable? Wouldn't you make I would make time for Star Trek.
I don't think they can afford Carol Kane to pay her to make her completely available the whole time.
I would do it for free.
Martin, he probably had pre-existing things since he hasn't been there long, but
you could.
They're both great. I love seeing them, but
they are really great. You could see you could see kind of like, I guess now, like having done these like discussions and like learning a lot about like how the industry works and everything like that, you could definitely see like the choices that were made to kind of like, you have to make all these choices and compromises. And it's like, for example, in the shuttle, you don't see the blast shields are up, so you don't see anything outside the shuttle. And that's like a budget saving maneuver and stuff like that. Because when you think about, even though it's like background, the planet, the AR wall, that the AR wall is projecting with like the gas giant and all the atmospherics and everything. That's a lot of detailed, beautiful.
And all the other
animation.
moons hanging.
Yeah, all the
at
other
first you think
moons
those are
hanging,
like
yeah.
rocks on the planet, but no, those are
Right.
the other moons, and like it was...
And the Enterprise is maneuvering into, going into the wormhole and like all of that. That's all beautiful CG work, and I'm sure it's very expensive and time consuming too. I think the CG is what takes the most time often in these productions.
I heard too.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So just to go back, so you're right about those visuals there. So like on the other side of that wormhole, like was hell. So what was happening? Like there was like a star, like there was like an asteroid field. What was happening again with that?
Yeah. So
it was a gas giant, not a star.
They said a gas giant, so it's like a Jupiter type of planet, but it was definitely ionized. That's why it was glowing like a sun. Like there was like some kind of ionization going on.
I think the Metrons were controlling it because I don't think any of this would work.
Well, yeah, I think Well, no, I think
they made an atmosphere. They
said that we inhabit this part of space, but they seem to be able to manipulate
I think
atmospheres and things like that.
They paused time late episode. I mean, mid beam. I mean,
but now watching it a few times, like what it looks like is like they said the planet had like 900 moons. Right? Did it say 900? No, 90.
346 or something.
347, like 900. I just exaggerate. But they had like 300 moons. And I think that like what we were seeing will eventually become like Jupiter or Saturn is in our solar system. So it's like a proto version of that. Because Jupiter, our solar system, interestingly enough, is not a binary system. And it's because Jupiter never became a second sun. Like it could have. It started to form as though it would have been, but it never did. And so I think this planet, this gas giant, will eventually become like a neutron star or some kind of star, like a blue star. And those moons may actually coalesce or converge, and one or two of them will survive and become planets that orbit this perhaps future fledgling star if it becomes a star. So it was cool from that perspective alone. It was just cool in terms of the landscape. I thought it was very sciencey and spacey wacy and like astronomy stuff. They even talked about like the orbit of the moon and how part of the way the moon was orbiting meant that it would get submerged into the atmosphere of the gas giant at some point, and it would mix, and poison the air on the moon and things like that. There were all kinds of neat sciencey things thrown in that were pretty cool. Did that answer your question?
Oh, it does.
Oh, cool. We got some interesting stuff going on here in the chat. Art says, has anyone besides me seen the Battlestar Galactica 1984 episode where Starbuck is marooned with a Cylon, the best of both Galactica original series and the only good one from 84? I don't remember. I saw all of Battlestar Galactica when I was a kid.
Well, to be fair, the one with Wolfman Jack is also really fun. So there's two good ones from that second season. Because that season is so bizarre.
Jill says, I'm watching the Ohio State marching band, best damn band in the land. Go Bucks. Go Bucks. Is that football? Is it football season?
Buckeyes, Ohio State.
Oh, okay. Is it football
she's time? From there, maybe, and they call them the Bucks. I had never heard that they called them Bucks. But it makes sense.
Yeah, not the Milwaukee Bucks, but that's different. Okay.
It's funny, going back to Art's comment. Sorry to go on a Battlestar Galactica tangent here, but they did that with Starbuck in the new Battlestar Galactica, except it was a Cylon Raider that she was bringing back to life. Oh, very cool. That's cool. Very cool. One day, Trek on the Tube and I are going to do Battlestar Galactica. I'm trying to convince him to watch it. Braxton, have you ever watched Battlestar Galactica? The new
Never
one?
watched it. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it's such a good show. I feel like Battlestar Galactica kind of reshaped the way sci-fi is. It's like the turning point for sci-fi. After that show, a lot, including Star Trek, got re-influenced by Battlestar Galactica, I would say. And then here we go. Yeah, the Metrons make the air breathable and probably created all the adverse conditions for Ortegas and Sissy. Yeah. I like you call her Sissy. She is like a sister. I kind of want now a Gorn action figure to study it more. I'm like kind of intrigued. I just watched the Stargate episode where aliens were working with us to turn Jupiter into a star. So weird the subject came up again today. That is weird.
It also happens in the movie
2010.
Yeah,
that's right. Oh, which is funny because the episode was called 2010 as well.
I think that was an homage. I didn't see that Stargate episode, but
we Braxton, have you ever seen that movie Enemy Mine?
No, I'm not familiar. Who's in it?
Neither. I'm not sure. Yeah, you've seen it, right, Joel?
Jack Quaid's dad.
Oh.
So that's what? Which one is it? That's Randy, or is that Dennis?
That's
the non-crazy one. And Lou Gossett Jr. plays the alien. He's under the prosthetics.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
It's mostly just those two because there's stuff at the beginning and then the end with a lot of.
What year did Enemy Mine come out?
Like 85.
Let me see.
Pre TNG. The prosthetics look a lot like pretty good TNG level ones.
They do.
I have to check the movie out. Maybe we can all watch it and do like a Starfleet Sohail after dark.
Oh my gosh! At some point, Dennis Quaid is holding like the alien baby. Like, oh my gosh, look at that! Like, this must be watched.
He's got to feed the baby. He's got to figure out how to feed the baby and raises it. Yeah. It's great. I've seen it. It was always on like HBO or Showtime when I was young. I watched it so much because it was always enthralling.
Benji says, "Did the Gorn have a tail?" I didn't notice until I did a couple of viewings later, but it did have a tail. Yeah, so it's there.
It was kind of hidden under the robes, and
I think
the injured leg, it didn't walk with like raptory, like up with the tail out. It was more upright.
What do you think the story is behind the Gorn's later appearance in TOS, and what do you think the Metron meant?
There's a way to.
What the Metron said, perhaps would it say we'll have to change your perception of the Gorn? Like we might have to.
What they're doing with that. They're laying something, and I don't know what it is, laying around for something, but like they could change everyone's. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah, apparently
could. Metrons could. Yeah, they can do that sort of thing, but I don't know where they're going with that. But maybe all the male Gorns lose their tails, and that's what we saw in Arena, and the rest are all female. I don't know.
That could be it too. Metrons be Metron.
They do. They do it. Yeah.
I love that the Salon team is holding fast to that theory about Batel becoming
that certain Shrek movie article. Yes, I think.
I disagree with it. I don't think that's Batel. Like, but you never know. You never know. It could be Batel. I think I think something different's gonna happen to Batel. We'll find out. Hopefully, maybe there'll be some Batel action. I think in the trailer we saw like her and Pike on the planet or something like that. So yeah, there was some going on. But yeah, we'll find out. Maybe we'll see her turned into a Gorn. Stranger Worlds is definitely Gorn heavy, I would say.
Yeah, so they really into it. Like, we love the Gorn. There wasn't enough done with them. We're gonna play with them, and they have. This is a better one of the playing with the Gorn episodes, I think.
The Arena Gorn is a ship captain. And then Trev says, "Okay, so hell, then how did the Gorn discover off the shoulder dress?"
All civilizations discover.
That's a really good argument. That
should be not warp capable civilizations, off the shoulder dresses civilizations. Then you can have contact if they're classy enough.
Art says, I think the Gorn and the Klingons now share a similar appearance mythos. What do you mean by that? I'm curious. But I
these
think
Klingons are bald. Or no, these Gorn are bald and don't have hair. Like wait, no, they never had hair. So.
But yeah, I mean, like definitely, I think I see what Arthur's getting at though. Like
radical changes.
They've been changed so many times. I think I mind the Gorn.
That'd be hilarious if the Arena Gorners like we don't speak of the tales.
We don't speak of the tales. I think I mind the Gorn changes less than I minded the Klingon changes, but I've also gotten over all the Klingon changes. Like I think Star Trek's done a good job of explaining that some species mess with genetics, and that they can, like as we've seen the Klingons do in Discovery, that they mess with their own genetics, and that we've seen that in Enterprise with the augment virus and stuff like that. So they don't have the same restrictions humans have placed on themselves after the eugenics war about messing with our genetics, which is an interesting thing. So yeah, the Gorn are probably in their tail phase and their lizard phase, and later on they go into another phase. Yeah, that's actually a good. Yeah, one has to be reminded to keep their minds open about these things and not be such sticklers and attached to how they look in one series versus another. I hope the Gorn don't sneeze all over everyone like Linus did. Gross. I want to see Gorn I want to see Gorn in Starfleet Academy in Starfleet, or like at least just like Gorn diplomats or Gorn, just some Gorn presence, and like have them like even evolve further. Like I think that would be cool for them to be even.
There's a Gorn in TAS. It's part of that episode where they're stuck in a little pocket universe. He's on the council.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Jill says, I missed the diamond eyes, but that's okay. That's another thing. But they were here. I felt like in the scene, there was a scene where Vergornica, when Erica first sees her through the like that telescope, the periscope thing or whatever, the magnifier that she's looking through, and I could have sworn that the eyes looked like they were covered.
Yeah, like, they could have another eyelid like Vulcans.
They do. I think they have another the diamond eyelid. Yeah,
membrane. Your cat ever got eye problems? It's that membrane sticks out, and you're like, "What's that?" And it's like, "Oh, it's that other eyelid they have."
That's the other eyelid. So yeah, I think that we saw it, and I could have sworn we saw it in another episode of Strange New Worlds, but I can't remember.
I think it might have been the premiere. I think the part 2 of Hegemony. I think that you could see it when they were on the ship sometimes.
Okay.
More pronounced, but it wasn't in this episode that much, but
so
some of the ships it looked good.
My favorite sequence remains, after watching the episode so many times, the sequence where Erica and Vergornica are bonding over playing games. First chess, and then the Gorn strategy game where you have to eat the bone at the end and stuff like that. I just thought that was like probably a very iconic moment, and that that will like I think it's a moment that shows like how people can bond. And I was talking about this on Text Trek last night. It's like games are an awesome way for people to bond, especially like board games and stuff like that. And I feel like that's something like we learned from school days and stuff like that. It was really neat to see that that at least the writers think that that's a universal experience. Like no matter, we know the Vulcans play chess too. They play 3-dimensional chess. There's like other games that they play. Calto, is it called, right?
Yeah.
Calto and things like that. Yeah. And so games are a big part of the experience of like getting to know others and stuff like that. What are your favorite games? What would you, if you were stranded on a planet with like an alien, what game would you want to try to bond with them over?
Oh my gosh.
I gotta think of the name of it. It's sitting in the other room, but
I don't play any board games.
You never played Monopoly or
My cats are just crazy. I'm sorry.
They love you.
They want more screen time.
Well, I guess we play Connect 4.
Oh, I love Connect 4. That's a good one.
Well, is Connect 4 actually a board game? I guess it's technically not.
It's a game. Like,
it's a board game. It's just it happens to have a board that's upright.
Vertical. Yeah.
Maybe we play Monopoly.
You could technically play it flat, but it would be boring if they didn't.
Does Monopoly have dice?
Yeah, you get 2 sixers.
Yeah.
Remember, doubles are a big thing.
It's been so long since I played. So yeah, Connect 4 for me.
Benji says Twister. Can you imagine playing Twister with this Gorn? Like the tail would also be. They could use their tail to like land on a piece.
Twister. Wow.
What about you, Joel? What game did you say?
I would be Carcassonne or Settlers of Catan.
Oh wow! Wait, what was the first one?
Carcassonne. It's a tile laying game. It's another one of those German games like that's been around for quite a long, like Settlers. You have to lay tiles, and you have little guys you put down, and there's castles, and like, but the tiles are only part of a castle, and you can put a guy on it, and then like how big the castle is, you get more points, and you can put points in the field to feed the castle, and points for roads. But you don't know if the road's going to get finished because it's all the players are laying these things. And you don't have to help your other person. It might help you. I don't know. I love Carcassonne. I like Settlers too.
Catan is a fun game, and they have a Star Trek version now.
I have that
of Settlers of Catan.
Audience,
what games would you play? I see Commodore Trev saying Gornopoly and Connect.
There you go.
Something that I was just thinking about. She spent all those days in close proximity with a Gorn. Like, I was thinking, like, it would be terrible if you could get like a Gorn flu or something, and like it's just so like virulent, and like she's just like sick as hell.
Oh my god, that would be terrible. But you know what? They have the transporters biofilters can filter out most of these like contagions and stuff like that.
This is rarely specific. They won't know about it, but
then the Gorn is also lonely. So there's nothing to give them a virus except for maybe those aliens that are on the planet.
The centipede things. Yeah. What did you guys think of those like those centipede things and like having to eat raw? Would you ever like if you were ever stuck, would you ever eat raw food just to survive? Like I guess you'd have
I don't eat meat now.
No choice. So. Yeah. There was no vegetation, it seemed like, to forage.
Yeah, I don't think that's why I think the Metrons created all, because it didn't seem like an environment. I mean, it could be underground.
Underground, there's probably they lived underground. There's probably like it could be like wonderfully populated with vegetation underground or something like that.
Dude, if I was hungry, I'd totally eat some roaches.
Ah!
I totally
would die. I would die. I don't think I could do it. Really? I'd have to cook them. I could do it if I could. Oh, I'm getting all like weird feelings right now.
You ever see that Nicolas Cage movie's Vampire's Kiss? He eats an actual roach when they filmed it. He had to do it
twice. He actually ate a roach?
Yeah. He's a committed actor.
You could eat any insect if you feed them things like carrots and stuff like that for like a few days. Like they would pass all the garbage and then have just like good stuff inside of them, apparently, because they have very fast metabolisms. So like that's something you could do. So yeah, I would eat a roach. I would eat a roach after just eating carrots for a week. If it
I also feel like
then I would eat the carrots.
Needs to keep their water and MREs in like a fireproof box. I'm like, you know what? How did
that was terrible.
I think the Metrons torched it.
Yeah, they had to, but like, yeah, they probably did all those things like to do it. But I bet
everything to get her to leave. Because if she had food and water, she wouldn't have
gone out there
and waited, and that would be pointless for the Metrons. So they had to push her in every way.
Oh, I'm just reacting.
I thought that too at first, but I'm like, no, the Metrons just did it all.
That makes total sense.
Very cool. I just got sent
A recipe for
bunch of
crickets or something?
like someone's board game collection, and I'm like, wow, it's amazing. You can tell that group of people have a lot of friends or good friendships if they play board games. It's very nice.
Or they just own a lot
Benji's
of board games and never get to play them like me.
Cake is like, gross, guys. And then Benji's like, I kind of want to try roasted bugs. Roasted. Ugh. I can't think of any bug I would eat, but they do eat crickets. Folks do eat crickets.
Remember,
And
lobster is just a
ants
giant
is the
bug.
thing.
People love lobster. It's just a
I'm
giant
sure
bug.
I've eaten like bugs by
Well,
accident.
bugs are
Like,
eating ground up grain. Vegetarians eat bugs because they're in ground up grain. They don't mean to, but there's no grain harvested that doesn't have bugs in it. It's ground up. You can't see it, but it's just you can't taste it because it's very little. It's actually
people were eating cicadas here in Maryland when we were overrun with them, usually every 17 to 18 years. Wow.
Oh yeah, my coworker's husband and her kids she has like some tween boys. They ate the cicadas the last time that they emerged a few years
They
ago.
were just like, what are the? Did they say what it's like to eat a cicada? Are they sweet? Are they what is it? And I'm sure they didn't eat. Did they eat them raw?
Oh yeah, they ate them raw. Yeah,
Oh
they ate
my
them raw. Yeah,
God.
they like were
I know
alive
some
and
are
crawling
cooked.
around, and you just like pick them up because they're so plentiful. Like when they emerge, you just like pick them up and pop them in your mouth and eat them. But they're crunchy. That's a skeleton.
Commodore
they
Trev says
look
it's okay to share. He was the one who sent me the text message of their extensive board game collection. It's very cool. Art says someone needs to put a Metron in a queue in an arena. That might be interesting, but I feel like they would just sass each other to death.
Yeah.
Like the Metrons in their appearance, because they're
so similar that they won't get along.
Yeah, they won't get along. Star Trek has this other layer that we're seeing. I like that Strange New Worlds is. We had that a lot in the original series. You saw a lot of these godlike kind of beings or whatever, and I like that Strange New Worlds is bringing them in. Although it's the same ones we've seen before. That's a critique I'm seeing a lot of, and I kind of agree with it. Where it's like, okay, it was fitting for this episode, but we already had the Q also. In this season. So it was
I thought this was going to be a Trelane episode because remember he says Terrarium quite specifically in that wedding episode earlier because he's talking about shrinking Spock and putting him in a terrarium. And I was like,
in a terrarium,
and we knew we had the episode titles, so we saw there's an episode called that. I was like, oh, that must be Trelane comes back, but no, it was the Metro.
Interesting. Dang, I had ground bugs in my oatmeal this morning. Is that where the protein comes from?
Part of it. Most of it's oatmeal.
Art two snaps when they're snapping at each other, just like us. It's so funny. Well, we're coming up to the hour. I hate to end these chat. It's so much fun when we're live because the audience is so great. You guys are awesome. Thanks for showing up. But is there anything we haven't, audience and also panel, is there anything we haven't touched on this episode? I know this is not like one of our, we don't do these deep dive discussions like when we're on Tech Trek, but if you want to do that, go check out the Tech Trek discussion. I think not just because I was on there, but I think it was a fabulous discussion. We got into a lot of interesting topics.
And the Salons discussion from last night was
the Salons discussion from last night, which I haven't seen. I have to watch it on the replay.
I watched it this morning because I was busy, but
sometimes I'm up late.
Do you remember what the memento that she kept was like? Because I remember she
it's the thing she didn't eat. It's the thing she palmed.
Remember, she won. So she won. Like Vergornica kept winning chess, but then Erica won the
Gorn game.
The Gorn game, and
I wrote it down as Gorn Hammer 40,000, but that's not what it is.
And then remember that the Gorn was like, "Oh, you're supposed to eat the bone sculpture,"
which looks like it would kill a human. It's huge.
Yeah, which so Erica pretends to eat it, I guess.
Yeah, she palms it,
but she kept it as a memento. So that's her thing that she adds to her collection.
Helped her survive. She would have died if not for her. Likely would have been attacked by an animal. Well, I guess it was all just orchestrated by the Metron, so who knows? But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No funny comments about the Metrons. Oh, I mean, we did make some comments about them, but I think ultimately I'm trying to come up with, because this season we've had our Demon Twink, we've had our Chaos Twink, or what we're Disaster Twink is what I settled on for
it works
for her brother. And so I'm trying to come up with because was the Metron a twink or a twunk? I couldn't tell. So I'm trying to come up with his genre.
I think the Metron was a twunk. I think so.
A twunk, so. Right?
So
fashion twunk. Can we call him a fashion twunk or sure. I don't know. Audience, maybe you can help us out with the Metron's gay archetype here.
The arena one was played by it was a woman playing the androgynous Metron in arena.
Right.
This was obviously the actor.
So a twink and a twink in gay vernacular, Jill is like a very kind of a wafy young man, and a twunk is more like a jock, but also very young looking and kind of clean shaven all the time, right? I would say and then Braxton would represent like a jock. Sorry, Braxton. And I guess I'd be a bear. So now you know all the things. Benji Sparkle Twunk, is that Benji
Sparkle Twunk?
They them Chaos Twunk. I like that, but I actually like Sparkle Twunk too. I think I'm torn between the two.
I mean, I feel like he was definitely wearing some couture, his robe was really fabulous.
Oh, cool. Phil's here. Culture Filter. Check out Phil Hawkins. He does Doctor Who and a bunch of other stuff. He has a cool YouTube channel. And he says, shame. I shall quickly add my 2 cents that I like seeing another side of the Gorn more in line with the spirit of the original TOS appearance. Yes, very cool. But what were you saying, Braxton? Sparkle? Should we vote Sparkle Twunk or Chaos? They, them, Chaos Twunk?
I like Sparkle Twunk.
I think I have to go with they, them, Chaos Twunk.
Oh, I have to be the tiebreaker. Sheesh. Stay tuned. I'll break the tie on Twitter later on. But I also like Met Gala Metron. Whoever came with, I think DT,
that was someone in the salon.
Yeah, no, it was on.
Or maybe it was Stan on Text-Rec on First
Reaction. Maybe it was. I don't know. I got to figure it out. But whoever came up with Met Gala.
Sometimes I don't remember which he said where, because I was on First Reaction. But
all right, folks, thank you so much. It's time to give our rating of the episode. We do from the gut ratings. They don't really mean anything. I often give 10s to episodes, and then later on I might revise it or whatever. They're just kind of of the gut. This episode gets a 10 from me. It's definitely a 10 episode. I just, despite the flaws, I think just overall I really thought it was a fabulous entry into the Star Trek mythos. I think it's definitely one of my favorites this season, if not the favorite. We'll find out after watching the finale. And I think it's an episode that I would put up in in lists of great episodes of Star Trek. Go check this one out. It's pretty fun, and so on and so forth. What about you, Braxton? What would you rate this episode?
I would give this a 9.5 out of 10. I would give it a 10 out of 10. I can't really even think of why I'm deducting a half a point. But 10 is perfect. But I give it a 9.5. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. I thought it was great. It could have got a 10 out of 10 if my girl had lived.
Oh, very nice.
But I thought this was great. I had a lot of fun this episode.
What about you, Joel?
I give it 9 flashing lights out of 10. The only real, I didn't even mention, my only real criticism is some of Ortegas' lines were a little too action movie. And wasn't there a Die Hard quote in there with they'll have fun, they said? Isn't that from Die Hard?
Oh, that's probably what it's a reference to. That's probably
it was I mean, it's okay to have some, because I mean, that's how it's hard when you're the only person talking and the other person just says agree, disagree. So, but that was the only real complaint. I didn't even mention it till now, but so.
Very cool. Wow, 6 times. That's amazing. Jill gives it a 9.75. Deducted it just for the Uhura thing. Very cool. Also, Cake is Eternal is asking, are we going to do a discussion about the Con podcast? Yeah, actually, I'd like to.
Starts Monday.
Yeah, I'm not pleased about the Con thing, but maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. So I would love to give my thoughts on it. So
Oh,
yeah,
I'm not familiar. What is that?
They're doing a con radio drama, basically. Set on SETI Alpha.
Oh, really?
When they're marooned.
Yeah.
Has it started already?
It starts on Monday, I guess.
Oh.
I thought you could just download the whole thing, but they're saying it's like a serialized podcast.
What a week.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Ooh. Where's it? Do you know the details, Joel? You might know more than
it's
I do.
every place you can get podcasts. It'll be so.
Oh, okay. So I'll be listening on.
I was going to wait till Monday, then figure it out, and then that'll just be on my podcast thing on my phone. But.
Benji says Joel is the twunk. Yeah, you're definitely the twunk in this.
I do not have a fabulous gown, though. Not at all.
Yeah, you needed to find some.
I have a Moopsie t-shirt.
You do.
And I have a Moopsie, but
maybe at the next convention you could cosplay as the Met Gala Metro.
I got the haircut. It's true.
Sparkle Twunk.
Joel, you would look so fabulous in that. I could totally see. I'm looking at a picture of him right now, and I could totally see you in the robes.
Well, I have 11 months. Okay,
and then you can have a recording that's eerie male-female combination chorus that just talks for you, and you just lip sync the whole time.
I gotta work on that.
How do we find podcasts? I've only ever done YouTube. If you have a phone that's Apple, you could just download the podcast app, or it's already on your phone, and then search for it. I'll try to send some stuff to you, Joel.
I have an open source one on my Android phone. It's called AntennaPod. That's a free open source program. You can have all your podcasts on.
Phil wants to know, why are you not happy about Con? Same reason I don't like, I think, Section 31. I just think that, for me, it's just not interest. I feel like I know everything I need to know about Con. Adding more to his story just doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather have, if we're limited on budget and time and greenlighting productions, I'd like to see more things that are set in new territory, like the 24th century, with 7 of 9 and that whole gang, or in just and I think I'm more focused on Starfleet and the Federation rather than I'm not a fan of let's find out why the bad guys are bad guys. They've done unforgivable things, in my opinion, and no amount of additional context helps me forgive their atrocities. So I'm just that kind of person. I guess I'm a Gryffindor or something.
You hold a grudge.
I guess I hold a grudge or whatever. But that being said, not
that grudge. Okay.
That being said, one of the highlights of Section 31 was the performance by Michelle Yeoh, and while it wasn't interesting to me, it was beautifully done, and they did add interesting context to Giorgio's character, so it wasn't a total waste of time. And then also with Khan, I think the actor who's playing Khan is interesting, so I'm tuning in mainly.
He was on Lost. I forget his name right now.
Him and stuff like that. So I hope that answers your question, Phil. I hope you're still there. Or if not, I'll just send you the clip or whatever. Let's see here. And it's written by Nicholas Meyer, as Art points out. So I can't deny that I would I really like Nick Meyer. By the way, he's just written some new Sherlock Holmes stuff as well, and he's going on tour. He's not coming to Miami, but if you happen to be in one of the lucky cities that he is visiting, you should go meet Nick Meyer. He seems like a really cool person. But yeah, that's the reason. Phil points out, I love live chats. I forgot how interactive these are. Just because it's following a bad guy doesn't mean it wants us to sympathize with him. That's true, but I still think it's not necessary. Sorry.
We have 900 episodes. We can branch out, I think.
And
it's branch out because it's a podcast audio thing too. So.
Yeah, and to Commodore Trump's point, just remember, if you don't consume the Trek we get, They just stop making Trek. They don't automatically make the Trek you want. See Skydance. That is true to a degree. I am a diehard Star Trek fan, so if you slap Star Trek on it, I will watch it at least once. But I also do think that you do vote with your dollars, and so I don't want to give too much air to stuff that I'm not interested in, and not, I don't want to watch incessantly just to keep, I think Star Trek is an institution that will go on no matter what. And sure, it might take a break for 10, 15 years here and there, but it'll always keep coming back. And sometimes it's good that it has those little breaks for it. So yeah, good discussions. All right. Do you guys have anything you want to promote before we head out?
Hopefully Dave will be back on Text Trek next Friday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone go give Dave some encouragement to be on Text Trek.
Yeah, it's not confirmed because he's like a Metron. He just might appear. He'll stop your transporter mid-transport and appear. And
thank you, Cake is Eternal. More live discussions, please. You laugh much more on lives. It's true. It's because you guys make me.
Adult life scheduling.
I love doing live discussions, but I like having group discussions as well with a panel, and sometimes it just doesn't line up. So
it's hard.
It's lately, but who knows? We'll probably get back into some kind of routine soon enough. I started my own business a few years ago, and I'm the chaotic demon bear that doesn't have a set schedule anymore. So I will try to do some more lives just for fun, like maybe some impromptu lives. Thank you for showing up, audience.
After darks, we need
after
more
darks. I know, but I start drinking. It's a lot of my liver. But yeah, I don't have to drink. It's true. Anyways, live
we'll
long
do that
and prosper.
For you. Don't worry.
Yes, you could. Actually, that's a good idea. I could just be the patron of drinking. It's true. All right,
you could just be like, have you drank enough water? Are you okay?
Are you good? Be a good host.
You need
live long and prosper, everyone, and we will see you next time. Thank you.